and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. In this video, we are going on an in-depth overview walkthrough of the new 2021 Mazda 3 hatch, and then at the end of it, I'm going to take you through all of the technology, set up all of the options. We do this with every car we test, and they're long, but they're informative. So let me take you on a tour of the Mazda 3 hatch turbo. This is updated for 2021. The hatch has been around, but now we have a new 2.5 liter four-cylinder engine. Before we get to that though, come up here. Now there's a few different trims you can get. This one's the max trim, the Touring. It has everything. It's priced at just about 35 grand, 34,700, 34,900, something like this. And by the way, it's really cold outside. It's 13 degrees, so sorry for putting my hands in the pockets all the time. It's cold. Let me show you around the styling here. You have this really aggressive front lip, and it actually scrapes on a lot. So if I had this, I would definitely paint protection film the underside of that lip because it sticks out quite in front of the front wheels, so your approach angle is really poor and it just scrapes on stuff. But what you do gain is one of the best looking front ends. Is this possibly the best looking hatch on the market? It might actually be. Take a look at this really aggressive grille. Everything's nice and blacked out, these headlights down. Mazda usually nails it on styling, but I think they really knocked it out of the park on this one. Come around the side with me, you'll notice it has a CAFIS camera up here, a little ADAS camera, and what this is, it will allow for some safety features and tech. I'll talk about that at the end of this video when we're setting everything up, but essentially it's adaptive cruise control, lane departure assistance, and also active steering. The problem with that though is it only works below 40 miles per hour in traffic. I wish they would just do active steering at highway speeds. This one's rolling on, I believe, 18-inch wheels on some Bridgestone Turanzas, good tires. Yep, 215 45 18s. Gotta say, great tire, great setup for this car. I had it up in the canyons. We'll have another video where I evaluate this car, city driving, highway driving, and a canyon blast. And man, this thing shreds. It's really, really fun. Nice blacked out mirrors here. Cameras under the mirrors as well because it has a 360-degree view camera, keyless entry, which is great. Sunroof on this one, just a little tiny sunroof. We'll go through the interior. Look at this tiny shark fin. This has to be the smallest shark fin for satellite radio I've seen on any car. This black spoiler here, I don't know. I think it looks kind of out of place. What do you think? Especially if you had a different color car. I guess I see what they're trying to do, but not when you really focus in visually. I'm not sure I love that spoiler. I wouldn't change it though. It looks good. Love these taillights. You can see the individual LEDs in there. Let me kick on the hazards, or you know what? I'll just unlock it. You can see them blink. Look at that. Really nice. And then you get to the badging, and there's just a lot. What you can do is you can remove the all-wheel drive, and you can remove the Skyactiv G, and then they should have just put Mazda 3 Turbo. It is all-wheel drive, of course, which is awesome up here in Colorado. All-wheel drive, turbocharged, 310 foot-pounds of torque. We'll get to the engine in a second. Here we get some cargo capacity. The rear seats do fold down, but this is quite large, actually. You can remove this silly partition thing. And really nice. Not sure you need any more cargo capacity than that. Love it. Dual exhaust out the rear, and then two little hooks so you could put a bike rack on the back. That is nice. We have an issue with this car, and that's this right here. The fuel cap painted portion somehow flew off during our week of testing. No idea what happened to it. You can blame Liam. You've seen him in other videos. He was driving it when it happened, and he said, yeah, man, I don't know. It just got out of the car and it was gone. And now I'm going to show you the back seat room. I showed you how much cargo space there is, but this car has pretty poor rear space. In terms of height, there is a little bump internally. You can actually even see a design element here on the car where it raises the roof slightly. So I'm 6'1", and I have the driver's seat set to my position. But you can see here, my head's in the roof and my knees are in the back of my seat. It's so cold. And it's just a little tight. So back seat room, not the best. I wouldn't say it's a good Uber car or anything like that. Front seat room, unbelievably good. Let me take you around to the engine bay. If I can find the latch. Nope, thought I had it. There we go. They're always in different places. All right, now this one has, again, the new 2.5 liter four-cylinder engine. And you do have to use one of these silly thingamajiggies. And in here you have 228 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. Now it does change based on the fuel that you put in the car. If you run regular fuel, it's capable of doing so, but it limits your power output. If you run premium fuel, it gives you more power. So I don't know, I've only run premium in it this week, and more than enough power, I think, for around town. Really nice low torque curve. You get basically full boost at 2,000 RPM or so. It just like shreds, and don't really know if you need any more. It's not crazy fast in the canyons, but I think you just slap a tune and exhaust on this thing, you'd have a blast. So it's cold out here. Let's go on the interior and I'll show you around the cabin. So I've selected the heated steering wheel. Interestingly, it only heats the sides of the steering wheel, not the top and bottom. I think that's a miss. Toyotas do this too. I don't get that. But I think that's the only thing I have to complain about in here, because look at how gorgeous this is visually. First of all, it's absolutely beautiful. And then the materials are so nice. I mean, we just had a Mercedes E-Class, and I would argue the leather's of better quality in this. Everything's just, it's a great place to be. It's really put together well. No creaks, no rattles. Everything has good weighting. A real pleasant place to spend the time. Ready for the cup holder test. It can fit 2 Trenta strawberry acai refreshers. Surprisingly, a lot of cars can't do this. They either touch and they get annoying. This is nice, really good cup holder space. Behind this, you have a good spot to put a phone or something back there, a little extra storage. Just one USB-A port here, but it does have CarPlay and Android Auto. We'll talk about that in a bit as well. And I go through a lot of these features in a bit. But overall, you just have to really imagine how nice this car is to spend time in. And definitely watch our City, Mountain, and Highway drive if you're interested, because driving this thing is one of the best experiences. You have a couple buttons up here and some glasses holders here, which I can't figure out anyone who ever uses these. If you use this in your car, please comment, because I've never met anyone who does. I think my only true complaint about this car, I have 2 of them, some of which you'll see in other videos. The first is the braking power is not amazing for hard driving, like if you're really shredding the canyons or at a track day, needs upgraded brakes. And secondly, while this automatic transmission is one of the best automatic transmissions I've ever used, 6-speed torque converted auto, kind of old school, works really well though, because you have that such a wide torque band. I wish it was a manual. A manual all-wheel drive hatch of this thing with a turbo engine, oh, that would have been just the dream. So let's go through all of the settings and options and get this thing set up. And now it's time to go over all of the interior features, options, quirks, and things like this. I guess I can't use the word quirks. Doug DeMiro has a patent on it. So we have every option in this car. This thing's spec to the nines. Of course, the Bose audio system. On the left side here, I have all of my window controls. Makes sense. And then I have some extra buttons by my left knee. The first is turning off the safety systems. Comes up with a warning on the display. I can bring up a camera view here on the screen, and I can actually cycle through these by, I guess, toggling the camera button. So I'm pushing there, and then we can see what the wheels are doing on either side. That's super neat. Really kind of a cool little screen. Then I can turn off my parking sensors, and then I can turn off my traction control. And that works out pretty well. So it's just an off, you click it once, you're good to go. I also have 2 seat memories down here by my left knee, and then another little compartment. So that works out great, really cool. I've probably mentioned in my walk around, but I truly am impressed by this car. Everything is so nice. The one thing Mazda's always lacked on though is not having the most amount of technology in their cars, and I almost like that about them, because they just work and they feel nice, and probably the most analog of new cars. So let's continue to keep going around. So we have automatic headlights, automatic high beams, all of our windshield wipers on the right stock. On the steering wheel itself, which is probably the best steering wheel in the business right now. I love this steering wheel, absolutely gorgeous. You have volume, track, voice, of course, and then this little info screen cycles through different gauge modes here on the screen. So you can have it on a driver assistance view, you can have it just on a normal speedometer with a full tach, or you can have a needle going around for your speedometer with a little bit of info in the middle. We've averaged 18.1 miles per gallon during our time with it so far this week, but keep in mind we usually test cars pretty hard, so I'm doing a range, or not a range test, but an efficiency test to see our highway MPG test like I do for every car. So that'll be pretty neat. Our editor Liam was saying this car is a really small fuel tank, something like less than 10 gallons. We'll have to look it up, but sounds like you'll have to, basically visit the pump often if you're driving hard. Now we get into our main instrument cluster here. Basically, this is where you control everything. It does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. Of course, automatic air conditioning with sync function, heated steering wheel, heated seats, and front window defrost, rear window defrost, and another heated seat for the passenger. The weird thing about the heated steering wheel is it doesn't heat the top or bottom. Similar to like some Toyota products, it just heats the sides of the wheel. And that's where your hands should be anyway. But I've like turned and I'm like, whoa, that's cold. And it's a huge temperature difference on this seam right here where this is now warm, but this is cold. I think that's pretty interesting. We do have some extra controls down here. Let me just tilt the camera down so you can actually see them. So we have, of course, park, reverse, neutral, drive, manual shifting, and then it is the correct direction where you push forward to downshift and pull back to upshift. I will have a full driving review of this car coming after this video, so make sure you do subscribe if you'd like, where I drive this car in the city, highway, and the mountains to give you my impressions of the vehicle. We also have an automatic parking brake that comes on every time you basically park the car, and then you have an auto hold button right here, and then a sport and off, just like every Mazda. Auto hold's really nice. Volume, you can program this star button to do whatever you want basically, and then just this general iDrive-esque controller. So let's get into our main instrument cluster info here. We'll start at the top with info. Fuel efficiency monitor, all looks pretty good. Let's hit the back button. So vehicle status monitor, let's take a look. Next service, 6,600 miles. Nothing really that useful in here. And then of course there's just like every new car, a owner's manual. Really quite a small screen given the size of this this cluster here. I wish they would have made it larger, but again, I think it's fine. Then you get your music entertainment. Of course, you can choose Bluetooth, audio, wireless, Pandora. Yeah, all pretty standard stuff. Sound system sounds pretty good, by the way. More than adequate. Communication, I guess that's like phone calls. Don't even know. Let's hit the home button. Yeah, text messages, nav, and then we get to the settings. In-vehicle displays, pretty neat. So active driving display is their heads-up display, and then you get to choose the height. I am going to lower it just a little bit. And brightness, I think it looks good. Tilt adjustment looks nice. Content, yes. Navigation, we want it all. That looks great. Center display is, let's continue. Day-night mode, brightness as good. Contrast, fine, whatever. Show results at ignition off. Yes, I'd like to see each drive at the end. What I did, ambient display, clock or blank. Yeah, clock sounds good. And that all works good. Now we get this display here. We get to choose of 2 different styles, all similar to other Mazdas. I actually prefer the Type 1, so we're going to put it on there. It's just different ways of displaying your MPG and your fuel. Let's go back again. Sound settings, audio settings, Timon must have been driving this because the bass is all the way up. Listening position, well, it's honestly just going to be me for the most part, but yeah, we'll leave it on all seats, that's fine. Let's see, balance, Bose stereo mode, so you can choose a linear or a stereo function. We'll just do standard. Center point, it's a virtual surround sound listening experience, and then this is to compensate for road noise. We'll leave those both on milder settings, and notification and warning volumes we'll leave on the low. That sounds good. Safety settings, driver assistance system, radar, cruise control, audible cruise confirmation. I don't like that in Mazdas, it dings every time. Signed speed limit alert. We actually can just do a visual alert, that's fine. We'll just have it go at 5 miles per hour over, which I believe, let's see, I believe is the highest. Yes, that's the most we can set it to. Driver attention alert, yes. That'll like say, hey, you're sleepy, take a break. Then we get safety alerts, rear cross traffic, lane departure warning, and you can choose steering wheel vibration or audible and steering wheel. I think steering wheel vibration is fine, or you can choose just audible. Blind spot monitoring, visual and audible, alert timing, early. This is good. I think it's nice to know earlier than later. Active safety, lane keep assist, yes. And so this will like push you if you start to bump out of the lane, but it also has active steering below 40 miles per hour in traffic jam systems. Let's see, collision avoidance, we're gonna do that, but we'll set it to early. Smart brake support rear, yes. So that will stop me from backing into something. And all looks good. View monitor, let's see. Display priority view. Enables view monitor to be displayed after vehicle is started. Oh, that's like bring up the cameras. And then priority views front or rear. Automatic front view display, dynamic guidelines, all that makes sense. That's just for your camera systems. I love how many options they have for this stuff. Parking sensors, alert volumes, we'll leave that all fine. Pedal misuse, that's pretty funny. Vehicle settings now, door locks. We want to do, let's see, automatic door locks while driving, and then unlock on ignition off. Wow, you get a lot of options for that. Let's see, automatic relock wait time. If a door is not open, yeah, 90 seconds is fine. Keyless auto lock, don't want that. Let's see, medium volume when unlocking and locking. Once one click unlocks all the doors here. That's exactly what we want. Exterior lighting, automatic headlight sensitivity medium, that's fine. Headlight timeout 30 seconds. High beam control, adaptive front lighting, that's cornering lights basically. Daytime running lights, coming home lights, leaving home lights. Got a lot of lights on this thing. Interior lighting, 15 seconds entry duration. That works just fine. I like how you can go 7.5 seconds. Rain sensing wipers, turn signals, triple flash, yes. And then you can change the noise. Yeah, that makes a difference. Medium sounds good. Rear window defrogger, automatic shut off, that's fine. Link seat and climate control temperatures, no, but that's kind of cool. If I turn up the heat, it'll turn up my heated seat. Got that mixed up. Connectivity settings, oh my goodness. Bluetooth, smartphone, Wi-Fi, system settings, clock. Yeah, let's see. GPS time synchronization, voice, temperature, miles, PSI. Grace Note database update. Use Great Note. No. Okay, hey, this is pretty neat. There's so much to go through, but I think that's kind of it. And there's really nothing to go through on this screen here. You just kind of choose the info screen that you want. So there you go. That's a full tour of the options and setup on the Mazda 3 hatch turbo. Probably one of the quickest ones, but don't let that fool you. This car is super nice to drive, regardless of how many options and settings you have. So without further ado, make sure you subscribe, because I'm going to go take it for a drive now in the town, on the mountains, and on the highway, and share my impressions. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.